First tonight, 3 people are in jail accused of trying to launch drugs to inmates also locked up. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ryan Kruger.
And I'm Alicia Barnes. But how they were able to do this, and they attempted to do this, has everyone talking tonight. Fox 46's South Carolina Bureau Chief Shakira Speaks spoke with investigators tonight, and they're going to walk us through it.
Pageland police officers conduct traffic stops all the time, and Wednesday was no different when one officer noticed something off about a car and the people inside, and what he found were tennis balls and a launcher.
Honestly, and something like that, it's definitely far and few in between.
Right now, Terrell Freeman, Terrell Rashad Jones, and Alexia Turner Stewart are in jail, accused of trying to get illegal drugs to other inmates. Police arrested them after chasing them for a few minutes.
So, these 3 were free. And in an attempt to get drugs to people who were in prison, they got caught, and now they're in prison, in jail, and of course home now, and awaiting trial. But it depends too. They may have, I don't know their records, and I don't know if they have money for a bond, but most likely these people are home. But why they all ain't got no shirts, like what's really good? But as y'all guys know, I sold weed for a long time, 20 years. You know, there's some clever, ingenious stuff because the trade on the inside is very lucrative. Because you can take a little pen joint, and I mean a pen joint, cut with tobacco. I'm talking about a pen. I'm not talking about like a street pen joint. You know how you man that little, no, a pen joint. Like you could sew a button in a shirt with it. You know, a pen joint will go for, I don't know, 20 and up. So, or whatever is worth that, whatever, bartering system they use. But, yeah. So, if they got a bunch of tennis balls full of, and they launch them all in there, whoever gets them going to be a very wealthy man.
It was found, to be open containers inside the vehicle. And then our officers came upon a launcher and tennis balls wrapped in duct tape.
But they weren't headed to the tennis courts for a friendly match.
The tennis balls were cut, and inside of looking in those tennis balls was green leafy substance, believed to be marijuana, and tobacco inside of the tennis ball.
Okay, so you see these tennis balls. They look harmless. That's ingenious, man. And I know these people didn't come up with this. I'm sure this is done all throughout the country. I'm sure it's been done for years with the launch. I mean, look. People actually go on visitations with stuff, concealed in orifices and cavities, if you know what I mean. And try to hand it off during visitation. This is a much more, seemingly effective. But they got caught before they could even get there. So it goes to show you that they didn't get caught doing this. And if you have a story of some people getting caught actually doing this, send it to me. So I don't see a lot of stories of people getting caught actually launching them over the fence. They got caught on a traffic stop with open containers in the car, which means they was drinking.
Once the trio was caught, police say they opened the tennis balls and found 96 grams of marijuana and over 570 grams of tobacco and a Fruity Pebble ball of THC. But as for the use of the launcher,
it was believed that they were going to a prison facility to launch those items over the fence.
Pageland police say the incident is under investigation, including where exactly the three suspects were going and who they've been in contact with. Reporting in Pageland, Shakira Speaks, Fox 46.
Starting tomorrow, more than 100,000 North Carolinians will lose pandemic federal unemployment benefits. Business owners are hoping it will help make it easier for them to find workers.
Meanwhile, a group who usually has a hard time finding a job is capitalizing on the surge of openings. Fox 46 chief political correspondent Emma Withrow has a story.
Companies are still running and they need employees. So I think they are really giving incarceration, those who was incarcerated, a chance.
Antonio Sullivan has been out of prison since 2014 and luckily got back into the workforce a few days later, but it doesn't always happen like that. Studies show the unemployment rate for previously incarcerated individuals is 5 times higher than the rate for the general population. But with the labor shortage bringing 9.8 million job openings nationwide, the skies are clearing up for those seeking a second chance.
Salute to this brother and other brothers like him who have come out of jail and got jobs and become productive citizens. However, she just said that the rate of unemployment again amongst ex-offenders or convicts or whatever, recently released people, whatever they want to call it, is 5 times higher than the general public. Well, there's a reason for that. Okay? That population of people that end up in jail, they usually are high school dropouts, people reading at a very low level, weren't very good at school. Now, I'm not talking about all. If you get in my comment section talking about all, please don't do that. Please don't talk about all. Don't tell me about your uncle and who was a Rhodes Scholar and then snapped one day and offed his wife. Yeah, things happen. The average person who comes in contact with the criminal justice system enough, and we know how much you have to come in contact with it before you actually end up doing a prison sentence. Like these guys, it's not like they're getting caught jaywalking and they're doing 5 years. These guys are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of arrests before they finally get, slammed with that big sentence. So that type of person is not amongst the most educated and the most qualified for a job and the most, and the type of person that has the skills and the demeanor and the character and the people skills and the social skills to operate effectively in the workplace anyway. Because they're trying to make it seem like it's some kind of bias or something like that. Nah. That population, that group of people, regardless of race, ethnicity, or whatever, that group of people that are in jail and whatnot, in prison, that's a bad group to judge against the rest of society. They should be judged against, let's just say, homeless people or something like that, and see how many times more times they are likely to be unemployed than homeless people. But to judge them against the whole the regular population, people who are, can read at their right level, people who, did good in school, people who, are productive citizens, people who don't break the law, people who, do the right thing, people who exhibit socially correct behavior, people, it's improper to judge them against that group because it's making it seem like it's some kind of bias when it's really not no bias. They're right where they are. They're supposed to be 5 times less employed than than regular citizens, law-abiding citizens. That's correct. There's nothing abnormal about that.
Antonio Sullivan has been out of prison since 2014 and luckily got back into the workforce a few days later, but it doesn't always happen like that. Studies show the unemployment rate for previously incarcerated individuals is 5 times higher than the rate for the general population. But with the labor shortage bringing 9.8 million job openings nationwide, the skies are clearing up for those seeking a second chance.
People are hiring out there in the Charlotte metro area, in greater metro Carolinas. We're seeing that inmates who get out can easily get a job. Therefore, they don't call us as much because they really only call us when they have the needs.
Jeff Cloud is the founder of Crossroads Reentry, a nonprofit that works with people who've been released from jail or prison. Cloud was incarcerated himself and now teaches others how to stay on the right path.
I tell people when I teach classes, and it's in our curricula, you want to get hooked up with people who give second chances. None of us would want to work for anybody who didn't give a second chance.
As it turns out, there are many openings at businesses willing to offer people with a record a second chance.
I understand people can change. So yeah, that has never really too much affected my opinion on hiring someone because of their past.
Mackenzie Hornbeck is the bar manager at Vana Charlotte, and like most businesses in the country, they're hiring.
Has it been hard to find people?
Oh, it's been incredible. Yeah. It's impossible to find people. I actually have 2 interviews this week, which I'm excited about.
Just think about that. This guy owns a bar, and he's excited about an interview. Like, listen, that's a part of the job that managers and people dread. Like, I got to interview a new employee today. I had a bunch of interviews to do today. Now, because everyone's sitting home getting their, they got the eviction moratorium, so they don't have to pay rent. They're getting the unemployment checks, fat unemployment checks, the stimulus and all that stuff. People have gotten used to sitting home. So if you are looking for a job, as I've chronicled on this channel so many times, and make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you take the $5 challenge via PayPal, via the Cash App, or even the Super Chat if you're watching this during the premiere. But I've chronicled that so much on this channel about how easy it is to get a job now. McDonald's, $15 an hour to drop fries and flip burgers. And get smart with people at the drive-through window. I mean, everywhere is hiring. And this guy, it's amazing how thirsty he is for employees. And there's no excuse now. So if you're a brother out there and you got a criminal record or a past or whatever, you recently released, there's no excuse, man.
I understand people can change. So yeah, that has never really too much affected my opinion on hiring someone because of their past.
Mackenzie Hornbeck is the bar manager at Vana Charlotte, and like most businesses in the country, they're hiring.
Has it been hard to find people?
Oh, it's been incredible. Yeah. It's impossible to find people. I actually have 2 interviews this week, which I'm excited about.
But for anyone looking for work, regardless of your arrest record, Sullivan says start applying.
I would say do not give up. Do not give up. Seek help. Seek help. This is an opportunity as you are getting up on your day to go seek and find help that's here.
Emma Withrow, Fox 46.